army if you're only on stalkers and not even close to Colossi on
And
your own.
you know what's funny is what Crank did is he was trying to hide the probe. Obviously the probe was revealed, but he actually just built a pylon. So he revealed the probe even more. He's like, "Hey man, I have a probe here. I'm gonna build this pylon. You found me.
Well,
Congratulations."
that's all he could.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had that pylon at the middle left, but I think you're right.
hmm
I'm wondering if Spider saw that probe.
Yeah, he did. He did because he built a pylon.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
if he didn't
if
build
he
the
didn't build the
pylon and tried
pylon,
to sneak
did he still
around,
know that probe was there?
he did.
I
Yeah.
because I think he had an observer over that nexus, right? And he saw the
Yeah,
probe
yeah.
go over to the right, so I think he would have seen that no matter what. Um, but yeah, that was his last probe. If you lose that, it's no good. But here we go. We're in game number 2, top right hand location. The pink PrOmise player Crank, who lost the last game.
Unfortunately.
Very close game
Mhm.
to blue PrOmise player in the bottom left hand location, SpiderSwim.
Man, Daybreak. I love this map for pretty much all matchups. It's a fairly large map. Doesn't really matter in PvP just because of the warp gate mechanic.
Yep.
When you have a pylon anywhere, you can pretty much warp in. And a forge coming down for SpiderSwim. He
Oh.
wants to finish this quick, man. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the finals. I got MVP tails to roll real quick. Give me the $100. I'm going home." But he needs to make it work. The forge is already down. He is sending a probe across the map, scouting around the watchtower, and this is important. He wants to see if there's any kind of probe in vision to see if he's gonna scout the forge. And Tails, excuse me, whoa, Tails is not even in the game. SpiderSwim gonna move up into the ramp right now. Crank, okay, Crank actually kind of
He
hesitated.
saw the probe.
Wow, he
But
hesitated. He
this is-
saw the probe, pulled back, and now gonna scout again.
Look at this. He's like,
Hmm.
I know what you're up to, man. I mean, that probe is relatively early, because who scouts after pylon these days, right? Forge is done. Now let's see where he tries to position these cannons. Gonna put down one pylon. Another.
Ooh.
Another.
Okay.
One pylon is definitely gonna go down, but he's gonna build a cannon and then build another pylon to re-wall. I think that's what he's going for. They have to wait for that pylon to finish so he can actually build the cannon. There it is. All building 2 cannons. And this is looking so good for Spider right now. Oh, but his Zealot does get out.
Zealot's gonna come out.
That could
And
be
you know,
enough.
I don't know if you saw this game. It was between, I think it was Sase against, I forgot who it was against, but he got cannon rushed. Oh, Sase against JYP.
Really? Where was
yeah.
this and when?
I don't remember the exact event. I think it might have been like an MLG or Red Bull LAN, but this is exactly what JYP did to Sase. And you know what Sase did behind this? Sase expanded, man.
And just gave up his Nexus?
No, he didn't even get the Nexus killed. He held it off with Zealots, and instead of going for like a counterattack or going for like a quick 4-gate win, he expanded behind it, got a Forge, and JYP was like, "What's going on here? Why is this guy expanding against my cannon rush?" And he held it off so easily, and he was put in the same position. The pylons were there. You know, I don't know how Cosby did it. I can't remember the exact game, but somehow he killed the cannons, expanded behind it, and just won the game for like a macro game. I can find the replay for you later on just to see how he held it.
That's crazy. That's weird.
But SpiderSwim actually gonna pull back and get a gateway and a cannon himself, so he's gonna try to hold off here. The Zealot gets in,
Oh, that's bad.
and the pylon is actually, excuse me, the probe is actually there. Warp gate is getting started, so Crank can always build a few pylons in his opponent's base. Zealot gonna try to do some work here into the middle line of SpiderSwim. And what does Crank do here? Does he just want to go for a 4-gate? Obviously, if the pylon gets revealed, the probe gets revealed.
Gets surrounded.
Zealot gonna get surrounded, and you do not want to lose the probe, Crank. If you're gonna build some pylons, man, you need to keep that probe alive. It looks like he's gonna do just that. But what do you do here? What do you do here, Crank?
Okay, let's think about the timings here. So warp gate, yeah, yeah, you're right. The pylon is going to be important. This probe is really important. If you can keep the probe alive and then build some pylons in his opponent's base, he's going to win this game. Because stalkers, you need a stalker. Oh my god, that probe needs loan help.
Oh my god.
Well, he's expanding behind this. So he's going to have a tech lead. He's going to have an economic lead. Up 26 to 25 and getting that expansion down. And I think a really good question is, what does Spider do? Because his opponent is expanding. Has he identified this? No, he hasn't.
Spider does not see the expansion.
So obviously, if he does any sort of expansion build, he's going to be so far behind. So I feel like the only thing he can do right now, invest a lot in one base and hit before his opponent's Nexus, before his opponent's 2-base economy can kick in. But if he hits after his opponent's economy kicks in from this natural expansion, he'll be in a terrible situation. So, I guess another option is he takes an expansion of his own right now, which is like the other side of the spectrum. But we'll see.
Well, he's only on 1 gate right now, and it looks like he is going to throw down a robotics facility. So could this be like a 1-base Colossus timing? I think that would be a good option.
Okay, yeah.
If he wants to win,
the thing is,
off of 1 base, he needs to have obviously the right units and a strong timing.
Do you see the Nexus?
Yes,
you saw it. Okay.
Does see
the thing with going 1-base Colossi here is that's great, but his tech was so delayed compared to his opponent. His opponent has his robotics facility at the same time as Spider, even though he's on 2 base. So SpiderSwim probably realizes that fact. Just going to take a Nexus of his own. He's like, okay, man, I'm behind, and you decided to expand. You're trying to get more ahead. I'm going to do the only thing I can do right now. Instead of throwing everything down your throat and trying to kill you off of 1 base, I'm going to, considering the rush distance is so long, so that makes that even like infinitely more harder. He's going to expand too and just try to get us to the late game and try to take advantage of positioning. And look at that, his robotics bay is already down. And the thing is, Crank, he's like, all right, he saw my expansion really fast. I bet he's going to try to go for a 1-base thing. So he's investing a lot in defending against something like that, which means his robotics bay is going to be later. SpiderSwim possibly expecting that and taking advantage of that fact and getting that really fast robotics bay to go for really fast Colossus. So a lot of things happening in this game.
Well, the thing is, Crank seems to really favor Blink play in PvP. He's not even going to go for robotics bay. He immediately throws down a Twilight Council. So
dangerous. That's
an interesting decision as well. And overall, as the game progresses, even though Spider is down on supply, if he's able to get the crucial number of Colossus, he's already starting the first Colossus, and Blink isn't even started for Crank.
The map too, dude.
So yeah, it's a large map.
It's not a good Blink map.
No, it's a large map. It's hard to get up the cliffs.
There's only
both players have an expansion as well, and
you can't blink in and out of your opponent's main, you know, like like Ohana or something, or Shakuras.
Yeah.
You know, there's these gaps at the bottom of the map. Stalkers can't blink across that. So
it's a pretty small base too. Well, I mean, it's not a small main base.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like the entrance, like you can't really.
It's hard to come in and out safely.
Yes, but SpiderSwim investing a lot into tech right now, investing in that expansion, which means there's a little bit of a timing window here where he's not going to have a crazy amount of units on the field, and Crank looks like he's going to go with everything. Adding on 2 gateways, he's going to get a lot of stalkers on the field, adding in an Immortal, which is an interesting decision considering, you know, the Immortal has to march all the way across the field, so that implies he's going to wait for that Immortal, which might leave SpiderSwim enough time to get enough units out to defend against this incoming attack, but looks like he might go for it right now.
Yeah, man, supply advantage definitely in favor of Crank right now. ADC supply to 68, and the Colossus is out. And there's a lot of gateways here to reinforce for Crank. I believe he's on like 5 gateways right now. Yes, actually 6 gateways. There's a gateway at the natural. And he's going to move across the map right now. He's going to be able to kill this destructible rock. Colossus a little bit vulnerable right now. You don't want to move so far up. And Blink is almost completed here for Crank.
Oh, no.
And that might actually signal the timing. Is he going to try to blink on top of the Colossus? There we go. We do see Blink starts moving forward. He is going to blink forward. Going to focus down the first Colossus. One Colossus is going to go down. And he needs to kill the second Colossus if he's going to be able to take this army convincingly. He blinks on top of it.
Yep.
And that goes down, and Crank, I think Crank's going to win here.
I agree with you.
More reinforcement warped in, and there it is. SpiderSwim calls GG. So,
Beast.
Crank wins 2-1.
Crazy game.
Over SpiderSwim.
Crazy game. Love games like that. Love games like that when there's a lot to think about, a lot to talk about, and that's PvP, man. So many different things can happen. And yeah, I mean, it came down to, look, if SpiderSwim holds off that push from Crank, he wins easily. Easily. Because he had the tech advantage, which is like he getting Colossi out and then getting enough units underneath that is like, that's what, when your opponent is not going Colossi. I mean, we saw that in game 2. Like, the Protoss player who doesn't have the Colossi is not going to want to engage the Protoss player with the Colossi. You just don't want to do that. You have to rely on the base trade. But Crank hitting soon enough, realizing he had a great timing because he got expansion up sooner, realizing he had a great timing there, and also the fact that his opponent teched up so quick, which is like was his only hope, honestly. Teching up fast, getting those Colossi out, that was his only hope because he was so far behind. Crank, you know, taking advantage of that and then pushing for the win with all his stuff. Really cool to see.